yet.
Yeah, it's still, I mean, you can cross paths, still take one out. Especially if I got a bucket on the front of the tractor. So you get a little sloppy with it, you can take one out in a heartbeat.
And then you forget that there's those big tires in the back. I mean, I forget about what's right behind me.
Are you sick? I told her when we moved up here, I said, it's just me and you now. I said, the kids aren't going to do it. The parents are gone. So we got to make it maintenance friendly. So I designed everything. So I wanted to do it this way. She said, no, it'll look like Rosie Cotton from the road. She said, we do it this way. And I said, okay, that makes sense. So we did it that way. But other than that, the rest of it was my design for is maintenance type design where I can use the tractor a lot.
Good morning, friends. Just a second here. Sorry.
I planted those poplar trees right there. Usually they're only 10 years old, about 9 years old. I planted them a year after we got here.
There was also 4 more. We took those out.
Yeah, I planted four hybrid poplars in between those tulip poplars. And they were going like crazy.
There was
Roots
poplar
everywhere.
trees coming up everywhere.
One winter I took them out about 2 years ago. That was smart.
All right, we are ready to go for a walk. I'll take this, yeah.
Okay.
You ready?
Let's go.
Yep.
What you want?
And let's go ahead and say good morning from the joiners. I need to back up a little bit.
Oh,
Say,
good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Dan. This is Paul. And we're glad to have you in the garden. And this nice lady.
and we're gonna go for a walk and see. Do you guys want to show us around? You want to show us anything in particular to get started, or just go for a browse?
Yeah. We've started collecting all the old joiner daylilies. There's over 800 of them. Between Mr. Joyner started, then I started, then my son Aaron registered some, and Royce has registered some. So between all of us, there's a lot of daylilies from 1966. And we've got over 500 of them back. And it's exciting to see old friends. So we'll take a walk around.
All right, let's go for it.
I'll start at the beginning.
Okay. It's a very good place to start. Is that Mary Poppins? Is that who said that?
Huh?
Is that Mary Poppins who said and start at the beginning?
Good.
I think that's where it's from.
Okay.
I'm not that great with movie references, but I think that's one of them.
That was a documentary that you got that off, right?
Yep.
I listened to a documentary last night on Teddy Roosevelt, Theodore Roosevelt.
Yeah.
He was the one that coined the phrase walk softly and carry a big stick.
I am not good at explaining daylilies.
Sure.
That's not my thing.
So what is this? This bed represents? Are they in any chronological order or
They're
alphabetical
in the
order?
I got them that they came in.
Okay.
That they came in.
No chronological order.
No
just-
chronological. It says you the name of the flower.
Mm-hmm.
If it's an A, it's for Aaron. An R is for Royce. J's for me. ER is for Edmund. And it'll give you the year it was registered.
Okay.
And there you have Blazing Hot.
Mm-hmm.
And most people know sunglasses need.
That is a big, bold yellow. That's for sure.
Yeah. The Twisted Whiskers is back there. That's a blue daylily that Royce did.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very much.
Is this about your peak season?
Almost.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
We really probably got about maybe next week.
Yeah.
But I've already taken out a bunch of dead stakes.
Okay.
And there still may be dead stakes in here now. The people yesterday just deadheaded.
Sure.
And I got out some of the dead stakes. That's Royce's Ice Cream Sundae.
Yeah, you got a lot of buds still on that guy.
Yeah, he's just coming in.
Yeah, he's not branch right. The cold weather this year. The last freeze, we didn't really have cold. The last freeze that came in was really messing our out.
Sure. Well, how recent was that?
The branching's not there. The buds, as you see, they're down in the
Probably about
state.
3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
3 weeks to a month.
Yeah. Okay.
3 to 4 weeks ago.
All right.
It just
Sure.
Now we're getting more to the right color of the blue. So to start with, it was really hard to tell if the Daylily was right or wrong.
When you're trying to figure out, yeah, if your identifiers are right, your tags.
Umbrella.
Okay, all right. Let's move on down to the bed. Let's see what else we have here.
And I guess my father-in-law got known for all of his doubles.
Yeah.
He fell in love with the Piccadilly.
Uh-huh.
And he started out with wigs. And
Oh,
he went
very
to-
cool.
They took too long to bloom, so he went to doubles. And then when Lois and I married into this.
Uh-huh.
And when Lois and I got married, well, it was 19. I was 18. So it took a while for this to grow on me.
Sure.
And then after that, I got into the doubles. And he turned the diploid double line over to me.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, I learned from the best. Nothing like having hands-on
Right.
experience.
That's very valid. That's absolutely valid.
So,
In our garden, we're particularly fond of the doubles.
yeah,
That was what really got us into Daylily specifically, was a double that we
Right.
picked up at a garden center. You know, just one of the other ones they had on the rack. And now that we see so many other doubles that are out there, you know, at the time it was the only double we found. You know, we didn't know it was a thing.
right,
But oh gosh,
yeah.
there's just so much they all the forms have to offer.
Right.
Do you have a favorite?
Oh, man.
That's the right answer.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very hard to say. They're not quite open yet this morning.
Sure. How about a favorite shade or color? Is something that really draws your eye, or you know?
Honestly, everybody says there's a ton of yellows, but the yellows keep drawing you back.
Yeah.
I mean, the first girl we ever hired to work for us, her name was Leslie, and that's the Daylily she fell in love with. And,
Leslie's favorite.
Yep. So she wanted to name Leslie Renee, and there was Leslie Renee already. So Leslie's favorite work.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, she was simple. But no, I go to the doubles. I go to now. I'm into the unusual form doubles. Big time.
Very cool. Is there something you specifically look for when you're, you know, picking and selecting out of your seedlings? Is there one detail that is the most important to you over all the others?
I'm looking for something different.
Okay.
I'm looking for something different. Everybody else may be looking for branching.
Yeah.
I'm not so much looking for branching, even though Little But Mighty has tons of branching.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes, it does. Speaking of, that's a lot of branching.
yeah. You know, I just want something that, as long as it reblooms good, branches aren't important.
Sure.
You know, there's a lot of people, you know, if you're going to be a show in a flower, branching is important.
Right.
But for garden growers, you just want something that's going to rebloom good.
And your career here as the Daylily Garden has been for the gardener, right? Not necessarily for the show participant or.
Right. We used to open to the public and sell the clumps. And I've never been able to grow clumps this big.
Oh, because
Never.
you've sold them.
Because I sold them. And
Yeah.
I'm not digging up something that size.
Right.
Even though in the old garden we did have some that were really big. We always let the dirt go with them and put them in a paper bag.
Oh, wow.
So
How long have you been here on this property?
we moved here in 2010. We started moving the garden in 2009.
Okay.
I will never move 2 acres of flowers. Never. When we got the property, I didn't have really a clue that we were moving here.
Sure.
I could show you pictures where this was nothing but bare white. And
That's cool. And here we are.
yeah, and here we are.
This is a beautiful setting, though, I have to
This
say.
used to be nothing but pots and these four beds, and we sold out of pots.
So pretty.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Silence is
This
golden.
one here, yeah, it stacks up on top of each other. It's totally different from other doubles.
What was that? Oh, Sebastian the Crab.
Yeah.
Yep,
Most people
there in the
don't know
background.
that Fluttering Beauty was my first one.
Oh, okay.
When I told
From
my father-in-law-
1999.
When I told my it's measured 9 inches. When I told my father-in-law I wanted to go into unusual forms,
Mm-hmm.
I had James Twister that I was into doubles. I had James Twister that was 11 and a half inches.
Wow, that's a big one.
Yeah. James Twister is an unusual form. And I told him, he always told me he had a dream about what you wanted in daylilies. And my dream was to get an 11 and a half inch double. My father-in-law looked at me like I was crazy. But,
Have you done it?
no.
Okay,
9 inches is as large as I got.
Okay, all right.
But I think he was more pleased that I got the unusual form double
Sure.
than I was.
Yeah. That's very cool.
So,
And just right here I see Sebastian the Crab and Rosy Outlook.
right.
And what's the-
Frenzy's bloomed out.
What's the shout it out back there in the background here?
Right.
Those
I've
are
never
some-
seen it double.
Oh, that's not normally a double,
No,
huh? Oh,
no.
it's definitely a double today. Wow.
It is.
That-
But I've
that's
never
a
seen it
treat.
double.
And then we've got Fluttering Beauty here in the front
Right. Fashion leader.
and Fashion Leader there.
And then the other ones are on down. They didn't get put in the same spot.
Sure, but Fingers of Faith looks like it could be an unusual form,
Yeah, it does. It does.
especially today. Things are curly today.
Yeah.
Very cool. Peggy Jeffcoat is one of yours. We
Yes.
I don't remember if we still had that one, but I know we have had it in our
Right.
garden. I recognize that name for sure.
Yeah. She's a sweet lady. And the flower soups. The flower soups.
Someone here on Facebook is asking where are the joiners located now, and it's Pembroke, Georgia, right?
Pembroke, Georgia. Yep. The little hole in the wall.
It's so pretty. Okay.
You got Aaron's waffle over there.
Yeah. You can see
Aaron's
Aaron.
plate,
Okay, yeah.
and Aaron's little waffle.
And the rain is just coming down now. I thought I was stuck on a tree. Wow. Let's keep them moving along.
As you can tell, we don't go for one size, one color, one form.
Yeah.
You know, we do anything from the teeny tiny to 11, 14 inches.
Do you have any miniatures or smalls?
You're going to see them on the other side.
Okay, awesome.
Now, like I said, they got stuff got planted as they came in.
Sure.
This much here I pretty much have.
It looks like Bubbly is probably registered small.
Yeah, that one won the
Oh, nice.
I have an award bed of it.
And it's over there too?
Yeah,
Cool.
I have the ones that are in the award bed.
We'll definitely have to
The
focus
Don
on that.
Fisher Memorial.
Okay, yeah. Very cool. Miniatures have been a topic of conversation in my world for a while now, so
Yeah, oh yeah.
it seems like the more people I talk to, the more people are saying, I'm looking for a good miniature, and there's just not a whole ton of them out there yet, you know, like there are lots, but for dormant,
Right.
Stimilies have quite a few,
Right.
but
They do.
they don't always grow so well for us in the colder climate, so that's a topic that I hear about a lot.
We do. You can see a lot of small ones on the other side.
Good.
Yeah,
That's exciting.
The side that's been a pain to pick.
This grace and style reminds me of the form of sweeping shadows that Jim was talking about when we first showed up.
Right.
Sweet Spirit has a similar form, but
Right.
a different color for sure.
Right.
So pretty. So pretty.
And there's Aaron's Little Whopper. I was supposed to have a Aaron's Little Whopper clump tree.
Okay.
You see it over there?
Yeah.
A friend of mine had 16-holder pot tree,
Uh-huh.
and I was going to put that in and make a pot tree Aaron's Little Whopper.
Oh, that would be really neat.
But
Oh, look at Airy Delight. That catches my eye.
that's another unusual form. Spin and Twirl was the other one. Feminine Fingers was the other one.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was 7 of them.
There's feminine fingers there. There's a view of the garden from across the way. Was this all empty land when you guys moved here? You
Oh, yeah.
put up the buildings and everything?
There was nothing. Well, no, the house was here.
Oh, the house was here.
The
Okay,
house was here, nothing else.
cool.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got you in the face.
Umbrellas, an occupational hazard.
Yes.
That's more like the hands, not the big.
Okay, these are some, this is a spice line
Okay.
that he had. And he did all the different spices.
Mhm.
I've got
There's paprika spice blooming there today, and apple pie spice, and pumpkin pie spice in the back.
and then these I've just gotten in.
For people streaming and not familiar, the joiners have been trying to collect a piece, a part of each one of the plants that were introduced by the joiner family over the years. And so she was explaining earlier that some of them she's just gotten in this year as she's been trying to get them all collected. And these would be some of those newer additions.
Yeah, there's over 800 of them. And we've gotten back, in 2 years, we've gotten back over 500 of them. We're
So-
just trying to make sure now they're all the right ones.
Right. Okay. Grow them, see them bloom, compare them.
You will see the sign down here. These are all Mr. Joyner named after women,
Okay.
and they were known as Inman's ladies.
Okay.
So
Very
we
cool.
dedicated all these. There were some that I tried to dedicate to one area.
Sure.
And so most people know Tim Harrington.
Mm-hmm.
Heather used to come out to the garden when she was younger. And so he named one after her.
Heather is Tim's daughter, most
Right.
people know.
Yeah. And she's hybridizing now too.
Right. Right. They were out here Saturday.
Oh, cool.
Even
Hans,
Hans did a
yeah.
little video.
Yeah, we were
of the
just seeing
garden.
that last night. Yep.
Yeah. He did a really good job.
The rest of these were just people that we knew in society over the years. And
Yep.
they were good friends of my mom and my dad.
Sure. I recognize the name Barbara Kirby there in the back.
Right. Louise Larson was one of his first albums.
Okay. Oh, that's got a neat midrib on it too. Is that registered as a bitone too?
I honestly cannot tell you.
It looks like it's bitone from here. And there's Pat Mercer. That's a name we recognize.
Right.
Yeah, that's a his for
Yeah. Pat Mercer he put on the market at way too cheap of a price.
And it clumps nicely though.
Yes.
It grows well.
As you notice, it's almost a 2-day bloomer. Those
Yeah.
buds that are opening now, that's
Oh,
the
yeah.
Tomorrow.
Sure.
That was one of the first ones that we ever saw that started doing that.
Oh, very cool.
So that was sort of a groundbreaking
This
flower.
yeah, this Joyce Lee Brown is doing something that I think is rather neat. It almost looks like a starfish coming out there. The way that those midribs are standing so tall,
Yeah.
so firm. That's cool.
Now
Very-
you don't see it now because it's almost bloomed out, but Daddy used to call it a top bloomer. It's real heavily branched at the top and it just has a mass of blooms at the top where it didn't. Some people may not like that. But
Sure.
It was
Cassie Windenbecker is from 1967.
A nice. That's a vintage.
That was named after his mother-in-law.
Okay, cool.
that's my grandmother.
Grandma Cassie.
Yep.
And then Nell Jessup, if I'm not mistaken, was a former
was-
AHS president.
Okay, very cool.
And as you see,
Oh, look at
she
that.
has a little bit of branching.
This is from 1986.
Yes.
These are old genetics that are doing great. That is a ton of buds. Just a ton. Hey, look, Jan Joyner. I know that name.
Yeah.
Not blooming today.
The problem with Jan Joyner here is she's very dormant,
Oh, okay.
and it does not grow well here.
Oh.
But my father-in-law, it was named in 1979. Joyce and I got married in 75.
Okay.
So he threw out a hook, line, and sinker to get me into Daylily. And named it Daylily after me. And
That's what he had to do.
that's what he had to do to get me in. And
That's
he
funny.
helped us up here.
Nell McQuarrie.
Nell McQuarrie, sorry.
She was a strong lady in the Savannah Society for many, many years. Her and her husband.
And Frances Joyner looks rough here because I just put her down.
Yeah, that's not a fair representation of FJ.
Sure.
Not a good one.
We got another one over there though. It's better.
And is Frances your mom?
Yes.
Is that her
there's
name?
my mother.
Yeah, that's, the story behind that one is we were going to the convention down in Orlando, and he was going to name a Daylily. And we had been talking about this Daylily forever, and he wouldn't name it. And he wouldn't tell me what it was going to be named.
It's a secret.
And so I had written down what it was to Orlando, and I'm like, okay, what's the name of the Daylily going to be? And he goes, I can't tell you. He didn't want Miss Joyner to know.
Okay.
And I'm
It was a
like,
secret
"Well,
from
what if
her.
something happens to you? How am I going to know what to name that Daylily?" But he said that's the Daylily he looked for 20 years.
Oh, wow.
When he was trying to get a double.
And we don't get to see it today.
No, well, you may on the other side.
Oh,
Depends
okay.
on the awards bed because it won the President's Cup in '89.
Very cool. Very cool.
Jean Wise is a great performer. Another nice young lady. Well,
Jean Wise is part of
yes, she is.
Nancy Bray, look how wide open that one is.
Yeah. Okay, Joyce Brook. What you're looking at there, I think, is Word of Honor.
Okay.
Joyce Brook is that little pink on the other side.
Oh, okay. So,
Some people, I tried to get a little bit, not because I was greedy, but I tried to get a little more of for different people. That way I had a chance of getting right. I didn't realize I'd have a chance of getting right.
right.
But
That one looks like we got a little piece of something else.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It happens.
yeah. I mean,
All
hey,
Daylily growers
we
know
need
that.
so much all the time. Thank you so very much.
Rebecca Marie, she's not fully open because of the pool.
Yeah.
Yeah. That fall was full before its time. It's not open now. That was going to be 78.
Well, so for most people who aren't here, it's about 70 degrees, 72 degrees this morning. But what would you normally expect this time of year for the temperature at 7 o'clock in the morning?
Probably
85?
Yeah.
not quite that high yet.
Okay.
Probably upper 70s.
Okay. So it's just a little cool, but definitely a lot of rain. So
Definitely.
not the ideal weather day today.
Rebecca Marie's my daughter. She doesn't want to get wet. She don't want to open it to get wet.
A little picky, that's fine.
Yeah. Big poppies from 1970.
Diane and Jack Joyner, that's Diane Joyner up there. She's a nice lady, and Jack's been on the board of directors, I think, before on the AHS. So.
And no relation to the family?
No.
No direct
we
relation?
don't, even though we spell it the same way, that was, we always said we were probably related, but we never had found out for sure.
Sure. And Jack Joyner was bidding on the auction that we did for the Ogeechee Club online. Jack was a bidder. He won 3 or 4 plants, and I wondered if that's any relation. So that's the answer. Not a direct relation.
Ballyhoo's what you know when you see it.
That's the one in the back, right?
Yeah. No.
Oh, the middle one. Okay.
Striking Eye has been very popular over the years for us.
Rich Rosen was the one that named Let It Rip.
Okay. Oh, we're out of the ladies, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah, they're out of the ladies
on.
now.
Moving
The
on
ladies
now.
are gone.
Let it rip. That's a big wide open spider form, that's for sure.
Yeah. John Bonifaz being large, but we're going down the bloom size.
Yep, you did say that.
Okay, he did a pepper series.
Okay, the spices and the peppers.
Yeah. Chili pepper, tomato pepper, black pepper, cayenne pepper, hot pepper, jalapeno pepper, sweet pepper.
We're waiting for cayenne and hot pepper to come in.
Yeah.
You got a spot saved
I'm
for them,
looking
though.
for those two.
Sure. If anybody watching knows where to get hot pepper or cayenne pepper, please reach out.
A lot of the regional folks, we used to do a grab bag, and Region 5's all that, if they're tuned in, they know about this. But one year we had the pepper series that Daddy had just come out, and it was real popular back then, that grab bag, and they would bid on it, and it was a money maker for the region. And so I told Daddy, I said, you got all these flowers named Pepper, let's put a can of Dr. Pepper in there when they get them. So it was sort of a joke that year when they opened the grab bag to see what was in it. And Ernest Yearwood at that time was the auction guy, and he would auction stuff off, and then he would open it up and show people what they missed by not bidding on it.
Sure.
And then he pulled out that can of Dr. Pepper, and it was a real big laugh. So.
A great addition to the bag. That's fun.
You know, you gotta have fun with things.
Oh, 100%. Gotta enjoy it. Mm-hmm. Nice small one.
And it has been loaded in blooms.
Yeah, I see rebloom coming on too, so. All right. Tall and proud back there,
Right.
catching attention.
We used to try to name, or we always tried to name the daylilies to go with the flower.
Mm-hmm.
Passionate Prayer, we had a bus come out one year, and their bus driver was absolutely horrid. He almost took down the pole
Oh no.
as he came in the gate. And just about everybody on that bus before they left, Passionate Prayer was on the, as you came in the front, just about everybody on that bus called a Passionate Prayer before they left.
It was a sign. Someone on Facebook here is asking, are these for sale?
That's what everybody wants to know.
Right.
Not right, no, because we're out of business now.
Yeah.
We're thinking about doing a yard sale here at the Sunday,
Sure.
but, you know.
Not the big distribution that it once was.
No.
So if you heard that, Susie, I don't know if you could hear. And these are widely available in a lot of places, but the joiners themselves are closing down. So not going to be. They want to retire. Is this 3 generations of family doing it? Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. Our son's not doing it now, but
Sure.
yeah.
3 generations of hybridizing at least. So 2 generations of the sales.
Ice Cream Dream came out the same year as Your Sleeping Shadows.
Oh, okay. And I can see some resemblance in the general coloring at least.
Right.
Pink suede shoes.
Yes.
Oh, pink suede hues.
Hues.
I read that
Play
wrong.
on words.
Yeah, I read that wrong.
The blue is like corduroy.
Oh, yeah, it is. That's very cool.
I'll try to stay away from this one.
Very cool. There's just so
And
many.
I never found out how many names we had so in common.
Sure.
Mom's pet, my pet.
Not until you start looking at the list.
Yeah, you get very mind-boggling. You think you got a daylily back and it's something else, but there's so many names that are so common. Ain't I something very bright yellow double.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I got one single there. Ain't that cocky?
There's always got to be one.
Yeah, yeah.
Look at Pack to Please. That's a very roughly there on the double pedals.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have a favorite name? Is there a name of one of your daylilies that you've introduced that just kind of makes you chuckle every time?
I guess most people would say Scatterbrain.
Okay.
That was Royce's dad's name.
Uh-huh.
There's some names that you know, people come out here who bought daylilies from us.
Mhm.
We had a lady out here yesterday. Tim Harrington was out here. You know, he said this was like going down the line of memory lane.
Oh, fun.
You know, seeing the old names.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Baby fresh.
And what you'll have to do is travel right through there
Uh-huh.
and turn around and get Yum Yum Yellow, and then go over there and get a close-up of Leslie's favorite.
Okay.
He did.
That is,
Yeah, we definitely looked at Leslie's favorite. I'm going to come back after we're done live streaming. I'm going to come back and take more video and photos that we could put together for a.
because those are facing that way for some reason. I don't
Yeah.
know. You can't get that thing there is outstanding.
I will come back for that
Of
for
course,
sure.
it's one of our size.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The one in the back, Fire Papa.
Uh huh.
It's normally, that was my first attempt at unusual form cat.
Okay.
And it's single sometimes, it's double sometimes. But it's named after my brother.
Okay. Cool.
His son is a fireman, and to his grandchildren, he was known as Papa.
Okay.
So
Fire Papa.
that's what he wanted, a daylily.
Uh huh.
And that one came as close to a Fire Papa as I could get.
Sure. Yeah.
Back when we were
It's on fire.
hybridizing still, and Aaron's stuff was still in the seedling field, but after he had left and moved, I'd go over there and I'd tell Jan, I said, man, there's a good one over there. I'm going to use some of that pollen. I go in there, I said, oh man, it's Aaron. I said, oh well.
You can borrow. It's family.
Yeah.
Snow blizzard.
Get a
That's
little help.
pretty darn white. Lacking color. That's for sure.
Frills and fancies, I'm not sure if that's right or not. I gotta come back and check that one.
Performing Magic is putting on a show though. That's for
Yes,
sure.
and
Yeah,
that is
my
Performing
dad, that was
Magic.
one of my dad's favorite. He'd always say, you need to go back to performing magic. Performing magic.
Performing Magic is what I used to start the unusual form with. It will set scenes.
Okay. Cool. Winning ticket is sleeping today.
Yep.
Yep.
Lots of buds though. It's ready to bloom.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A lot of them are just fixing to pop to bust loose.
Mm-hmm.
You got Adopt Me, which is one of my small doubles.
It's so pretty. So pretty. Twinkle and Twist back there wants some attention.
Yeah, I got the sign a little high.
Well, and it's just a little
Okay.
short
Here's
today.
Touch the Future back there.
Yep.
That's what I told about a mix-up.
Oh yeah. You got two
Future is the double.
in the back.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as soon as y'all get through with all this, I'll mark those to get them out.
Right. Land of Cotton is yours. I didn't realize that.
Yes.
I saw
Yes.
that one in the Botanical Garden in Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Louisville? I think it was, on the national tour. And I took photos of it, but it didn't have the hybridizer listed on the tag. It just said Land of Cotton. But I have some favorite photos of that convention that were of Land of Cotton. That's a beautiful double.
When we put that on the market, it seemed like everybody up north ordered Land of Cotton.
Mm-hmm.
Like they wanted a piece. We make jokes about things. You got to do something to be able to work.
Right. Keep it interesting.
You're right.
Oh, there's Sweeping Shadows.
Yep. I broke the scape out of it because it didn't need to bloom.
Yeah.
It needs to go to growth.
Yep. That'll come back.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was one of our last pickups.
And
Somebody
Dewey
sent
Sweet.
Is that yours too? We grow Dewey Sweet. I know Dewey Sweet.
Okay, we have a friend.
Well, I told you we like doubles, and so I don't always remember whose is what, but man, I know the names.
Hey, you can't remember all who's this one.
Some people do. Nikki is on here. She has been on here. She knows everything. She remembers all those details.
Oh, come on, Nikki. Okay. Got Moon River Ripples. Like I said, this is just like going through, bringing back memories. A lot of memories walking around the other garden and seeing stuff. It's just,
Sure. You remember where you had it in the old garden?
just about.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. They were moved every year in the old garden.
Oh, okay.
because we were
Transplanted
selling
everything.
gardens, so
Oh, got it.
they were constantly moved.
Sure.
Every year we transplanted that whole place.
Daddy felt like he had to introduce about 22 varieties every year.
Okay, yeah.
And it was,
That's a
Yeah,
lot
but-
to do.
you had to rotate everything. And
The one back there that's moving in now, Jessica, looks a lot like this. No, Jessica. Wait a minute. Joyce Brook. Joyce Brook looks a lot like that one. I just got to quit deadheading so I can verify all of this.
Well, yeah.
This is a big place to deadhead.
Right. Well, I think after today and tomorrow, you're probably free to just let it go, right?
Right.
Still so much. So much. We've looked at 2 rows, and there's still a ton to see.
Smiling Face was one of my first introductions.
From 1990.
Yeah, well, maybe not one of my first ones, but it's one of the ones I remember.
Sure, an early one.
Right.
It's pretty.
See the grade?
Mm-hmm. Well, this one opens over 2 days too. It looks like there's some that are
Yeah,
definitely starting
Yeah.
to pop open today.
he had a lot of those. Lacy Doily.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a pretty small double.
Uh-huh. And everybody knows Tangerine Twist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is super pretty. Neon Rainbow looks like it's just done for the season.
Yeah.
It looks like one more
maybe
bloom
not
coming
for
on.
the season. It may send up scapes to bloom again.
Oh, sure. First round is over.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get more blooms after all this.
These.
Legacy Remembered.
Uh-huh.
That's the one. The Legacies, after Mr. Joyner died, I did a Legacy type series for him.
Mm-hmm.
And Legacy Remembered was, me and him never could remember the same Daylily. You know, he remembered all of them. I couldn't remember.
Sure.
But Legacy Remembered, when he was in hospice, that's the one both of us could remember.
Oh, cool. That's
And
very
so,
neat.
That's how that one got its name. Like I said, a lot of these daylilies have special names
Mm-hmm.
with meanings. And if I kept doing programs, my next program was going to be on how some of the daylilies got their names.
Yep.
You know, because there's a story behind a lot of them.
Right. Some are just random. Some of them are descriptive of the flower,
Right.
but others
Right.
are not.
Right.
Others are not.
Like Rebecca Beret down there, when it was a ceiling, you saw how it was closed up and twisted.
Uh-huh.
I used to call it rosebud
Okay.
because it looked like a rose when it opened up.
Sure.
So,
Very cool.
at one point in time, we had a weatherman, and a lot of local people remember Pat Prokop on WTOC, Channel 11 in Savannah. He had a garden, and he started getting a lot of, he collected weather plants that
Sure.
had weather names. And, like Stormy Horizon over here, he had that plant, and then other names that I can't remember at this
Quiet
point.
Storm.
Yeah, it's just, he had all of those.
He
collected
could go
them.
around his garden and give you a story with
Sure.
all the names.
Sure. A weather story.
A weather story, yeah.
Look-
He came in the garden and named one of Aaron's. He said, man, that's the size of a dinner plate.
No, that was Mike Curlin.
Mike Curlin,
Yeah,
give credit to Mike Curlin for that.
yeah.
Is this one typical? Are the scapes usually about this tall?
No.
Okay, much
no,
taller.
No, that's very much off.
And I see this and I think that's
I-
so different,
Yeah,
but it would make almost like a mound of blooms and those
Right.
big UF, almost spider petals. That could look really neat just as is. Different, but
yeah.
could be really pretty.
Yeah, no, it's short because of the cold.
Yeah.
And that one is not true to name. I do have it, but I thought I had, that was supposed to be Ruth Whitten.
Okay.
And it's definitely not Ruth Whitten. Ruth Whitten is another double. And
That's not
not a
double. That's not double. It's pretty.
It is pretty, but it's not a double.
There's.
And it's probably one of ours.
Mm-hmm.
I've just got to name it.
Sure. Figure out which one it is.
Right. And that's not easy with over as many as we got.
That Country Music Queen.
Right,
That is a fun one.
right.
That's so bright and cheerful. That's pretty.
Tom Wise back there, that bright red is one of our early patriarchs in the Savannah Club. And he goes along with Gene Wise.
Okay.
One of the daddies. And anyway, that was one of our early red edition flowers that we had, and it was very popular back when it was first introduced in 1988.
That's a pretty red-orange almost in some spots. Gets a little darker on the tips. That's pretty. This one looks
what
pretty
you
white
say
too.
about vanilla fluff, it's just it's been around since 1988 also, but it's been so very, very popular for our gardens.
Vanilla Fluff, Scatterbrain, and Francis Joyner all came out the same year.
Okay. That form of double though reminds me of the double. It was much smaller that got us hooked on daylilies in general. It was called Piccadilly Circus. It's an apse,
Yeah.
and it's much smaller, but that form and almost the same color. Not really, but almost there. It's kind of the cream tones, peachy creams. That's striking that chord for me. I like it.
Vanilla fluff is fragrant, isn't it?
Yes.
Jan?
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
Won the Plouffe Award back when they gave them.
Oh, for fragrant.
Yeah.
Ernest Plouffe Award.
Look at Frilly Bliss back there
Another band,
calling out at us.
unusual.
Yep, and that's short.
Short by weather.
Yeah. Now, next ones will be right. One thing in the
Waltz with
South,
the
you get
wind.
more than one bloom.
Yeah. Plenty of time for it to try again.
Right. Giggling Glorious, normally a little hot heat. It's toward the last of its bloom, so it's not right.
Sure. It's worn out.
And then Humdinger
Humdinger.
shouts at you from the air.
That's pretty. Ernest Yearwood. That name, I swear, I've seen recently. I wonder if maybe that plant was in our online auction just last week.
It could be.
Could be.
That name sounds really familiar.
Ernest was such a
Ernest was a wonderful man.
powerful individual, and I mean that from not a political standpoint, but just a powerful individual in the American Herbicala Society. He was such a great man that always putting forth a positive, vibrant personality.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, look at the branching on that fresh. That's what it was.
Oh, goodness, yeah. That is crazy. That was putting on a show.
Yeah, and blueberry puff will open sometime.
I'm intrigued by it, too. I want to see more.
Yeah. Yeah, that was when I was tickled to get back.
Sure.
Tingle from 1987.
I enjoy seeing the more spiky foliage. You know, that so many of them they curve over, but they're on tingle. That's spiky and proud.
Right.
That's fun. There's so many unique things when we talk about daylilies and the genetics and what they do and how each one is different.
Right.
Even the foliage does weird things.
1988 must have been an excellent year for us, because there's Orange Velvet, E.R. Joyner's Orange Velvet.
I can't even get that whole clump in the frame. I got to back up to see the whole clump.
What do you say about the Lennington All-American winner there?
Right, that is beautiful.
Widely grown across the country, all regions. Great performer.
Almost looks like a polychrome.
Stood the test of time. It's just a great lily.
That is outstanding. it's neat to see that even the pollen, there's a name for it, I'm sure, but you know, the pollen pods there on the tips, they're almost the same color as everything else, and not black and, you know, contrasting to the rest of the flower. Pretty.
To be
If I had
reminding
an
of orange
all-time
sherbet.
favorite, that's it right there.
Mm-hmm.
Even out of my stuff.
All-time favorite right there.
What I know,
And
each
then
and
there
every
was a
person
series
has
of the
their
edge of
own
eyes.
likes, and some people may not
Mm-hmm.
enjoy that particular color. They might be red people like small flowers or large flowers.
Whirling Whimsy is calling out there in the back too. Another big UF. Big wide open UF. It's a zinger. There's a story behind that one.
I don't know that one.
That was Mrs. Joyner's, wasn't it?
Yeah.
LR?
Yeah.
That's pretty. Like that little wire edge on it.
Soft summer breeze back there is a much bigger and better flower than what you see because it's just been transplanted. That is an awesome plant. It grows like a cornstalk.
Oh,
When it's
nice.
well established.
Uh-huh.
Excellent branching. It's just a deep green yellow, but branching just out of this world when you grow it in a clump. That one's just been put there not too long ago.
A little stunted. A little stunted by transplant. Nixie Dew, that's really pretty too.
Yeah. Now that's another one of your 2-day bloomers.
Mm-hmm. That looks like it has some really thick substance, does it?
It does.
It
Yeah.
does. It's like
Very
leather.
good substance.
So I only noticed the one with Mrs. Joyner's initials on it. Did she do many, or is she?
Miss Joyner?
She
Yeah.
didn't do
She
anything.
didn't do any.
Oh, I thought I saw an LR on one. Who's that?
Uh-uh.
Oh, it must have been an ER that the E was
the
faded
bottom part
off.
came
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it's supposed to
Okay.
replace some of those.
Okay.
Well,
That
now
makes
that
sense.
They're both passed away. The truth can be passed on now. Many times my father worked at what was Union Camp paper mill at the time, and he would give my mother the pollinating assignment for that morning, and because he knew they set seeds better, you know, earlier in the morning instead of the heat of the day. So she actually did the pollinating, and Daddy would make the cross assignments, and so she actually did the labor. So I can't say that truthfully that I know that my mom never pollinated. She actually did some of the pollinating for my father.
Sure. I wonder how many times she just, well, I want to do this one too. He didn't tell me to, but I like this
No
one today. That's
They
fun.
were a great team, and they worked together for many, many years.
How long did they do it together? How long were they in it?
They started in 1960, I guess it was.
Okay.
And Daddy passed in 2008, and Mom passed in 2018.
Okay. That's a long time.
So 1960 to probably 2004.
So 44 years for Mr. Joyner. Wow.
They were married longer than that, though.
Huh?
So they were married longer than that, though.
Well, yeah, they were married. He said what they were doing
In the
pollinating.
lilies.
Yeah, do it. Actually, the active part of Daylilies. Naturally Naughty, Eyed and Edged. That's a fun name. Just a fun name. I've been accused of being naughty. It's got to be my nature.
You know, a lot of customers would come out, and I'd be walking through the garden, and I'd actually, when they'd buy something, I'd play off of that name and say, well, you got to, you've bought that, and you got to have another, big kiss or luxury man, whatever that went with whatever they bought. I'd use a sales line. And
That's great. Well,
I
and
had one guy come out to give his mother a birthday gift. And I told him, I said, you just need to buy her a big kiss.
yep, it's perfect. That's exactly what they needed, and that's a pretty flower. That's just pretty. That eye, just the soft pink eye in there. Too pretty. Too pretty. Moses Fire That one grew so well for us. We gave a section to my mom, and it was exactly the color that she wanted. She wanted it to kind of match the brick tones of her home, and she was just absolutely thrilled with that one. That's been a good grower for us.
It's been a very popular red double over the years and widely distributed. You see in some large magazines, I've noticed that in some large magazines, somebody's gotten it and multiplied it and sell it, and
Probably tissue culture.
I would assume it was probably tissue culture, but I don't know that.
Right. And even if it's growing just as well, that's just a good testament to how strong those genes are. Good plant. So are all these beds just your introductions other than the seedling beds in the back? Or
Right. The name ones go, the next bed ends the name.
So we got one
Okay.
more bed of names, and then we can stroll through 2 beds of seedlings, pick out a
Go
few
ahead, Jan.
selected ones if you'd like, and instead of going through all of them.
Okay. A gentleman by the name of Richard Bartson just commented and said, "I have so many Joiner daylilies."
Okay,
This one here was another bed that I was able to put aside. This is the Savannah bed.
Okay.
All of these have Savannah names.
Yeah. Awesome.
Savannah Moon here was one of his first days. What was his first registration? 1966.
Okay, cool. That's the start right there, Savannah Moon.
Again, somebody had purchased it and was growing it as a plant in 1970 in the Atlanta National Convention, and they wanted the President's Cup.
Awesome.
They called down and told Daddy, "Man, you want the President's Cup?" He said, "The what?" He wasn't even aware there was a President's Cup.
He hadn't entered into it,
No,
not like you put it into a
started out,
contest.
he
Is that what put him on the map, you think, for his introductions?
No, I give credit to, he had been hybridizing and following the double line and pushing the double line in his breeding program. And in 1989, Savannah hosted the National Convention.
Okay.
And being, as he is, David Kirchhoff, a voice for the society quite a bit, and he came through there and he liked a lot of Inman's doubles, and he said, I've heard him say personally myself, he said it's high time Inman got credit for his program here, and I actually credit that to David in that '89 convention is moving Daddy along in his being known.
Sure, that's awesome. That's awesome, and David is still such a champion for the daylily. I mentioned the different foliage and seeing, all the uniqueness, and there's 2 right here that are those are Chartreuse. Those are bright green. That's not the normal dark green that we have there in the back.
Right.
That's so cool. Very cool. More Savannahs. How many Savannahs? There's a lot of them, aren't there?
There's a bunch, and I don't have them all.
So you got room. You have some room. You can put some more in when they arrive.
Yeah. This bed here was the last bed, as you'll see on down, that I got in.
Okay.
And I just started making places and just put them in.
These plants aren't quite as large as the other ones, as you
These
can
are.
tell, so
Yep.
they're varied in size.
Not as well established here.
Yeah.
There's some fun on the names: Savannah Hannah, Savannah Rainbow.
Mm-hmm. Savannah Cabana.
Yeah.
Yeah, some names really click,
Yep.
We had
Savannah
some
Debutante.
customers that came out and bought daylilies from us,
Mm-hmm.
and they were from Florida, and it's 4 ladies, and on their way back home, they said, "You need a Savannah souvenir."
Yep.
So we're like, okay, we hadn't thought of that one,
Yep.
so we did a Savannah souvenir.
That's a perfect way to do a name too.
Right.
Everyone needs a souvenir from Savannah.
And for the national this year, were the best plants.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're going to have a Savannah Sensation, a Savannah Waving Girl, a Savannah Memories, and a Savannah 2020.
Oh, awesome.
I wasn't going to let them forget Savannah.
Right, no kidding. Those are for good souvenirs too.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So, and now we're out of the Savannahs.
Okay.
And like I said, these were the freestyle. The first time we saw it, had a show that morning, and it was in the ceiling bed, and this is nowhere near right.
Mm-hmm.
When we looked at it, it looked like a 7-inch cigar, the bud.
Oh,
So that's going to tell you the bloom is nowhere near right.
right.
And we took it to the show. It did well in the show, and
Here it
got
is.
registered. But it's a 7-inch bloom. But it's like I said, all this stuff just got put in late, and so it's nowhere near right. And then, as you see, I just went in and made room and just stuck things
Sure.
there and yonder.
Mm-hmm. I have to tell you, Waffle Delight is going to be on my wish list, specifically for the name. I work for a company that does waffles. That's our business, is waffles. So that is coming on the wish list. Just so pretty. Spiffy, that's a fun one.
Yeah.
There's Spiffy right there.
There's a lot of fun names. Like I said, you gotta have fun when you do this.
J.R. Blanton, do you know J.R. He's from Region 2 up in Ohio.
No, I don't.
He just offered Savannah Corona. And you could take that either way. You could call it for 2020's exciting events, or you could go for the beer, whatever one you want. Listen to your heart. That's a pretty tone. I imagine that one's hard to photograph to get that color right.
A lot of them are hard to photograph.
That's just so pretty. Geechee Bell. That's pretty.
Rare Love,
Mm-hmm.
when we had the 1989 convention,
Mm-hmm.
was on the t-shirts.
Oh, cool.
So it was exciting for me to get that one back.
Yeah.
When Daddy first started Howard out, we were on Whitfield Avenue, which is right on the edge of the Salt Marsh.
Okay.
And in Savannah, we tried to use a lot of local flair in their names, like Chatham Butterfly, which is Chatham County,
Mm-hmm.
Savannah.
Mm-hmm.
There's a river there. There's also a road. This thing Skidaway.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, also Leahy Island, we had an early flower called Leahy. I don't know if
We don't have it.
We don't have it back yet. But this is Skidaway from 1967.
Very cool.
One of his early
Yeah, definitely a reference to Savannah. We went to the old cemetery last night,
Oh, did you?
and then so we were on Skidaway Road on the way.
Uh-huh.
Some like it sassy. Who's sassy? I'm sure somebody on Facebook is sassy.
Yeah.
Some people that were here also in 1989, remember the 89 convention. Emerald Crown stays open late in the evening.
Oh, cool.
In fact, up till 11 o'clock.
That's an
And
extended window.
we had all the tables in the 89 convention with what do you call it, arrangements of Emerald Crown on each table in the 1989 convention at the hotel each night.
And Daylilies don't normally do that for you.
No.
Not at 11 o'clock at night, or dinner time.
And we were planning that. We had one full bed of Emerald Crown, 50 foot long and about 12 foot wide.
Wow.
Mass, and we'd go out there every night and cut.
Wow.
Two banks.
That's very cool.
So and as you can see, that's a late one for me to get back because it's all the way over here.
Sure, but
So
it's
when I
doing
got
good.
It back, I was thrilled.
But look how big of a clump that is. That's super big. Well established. I wonder if somebody who took this away from that convention or bought it because they saw it at that convention is now, bringing it back to you. That'd be cool.
Old Ruckus was a fun name.
Yeah, it is.
These are just starting.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Good
how are y'all?
morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Madam Chatham over
Nice
there.
birthday.
Yeah, really.
A little bit of lipstick, huh?
Yes, we have a little bit of lipstick. Lipstick at its best. Like I said, you get confused with all these names. Mhm. And I found out this one here. Yeah, lipstick at its best is not lipstick at its best.
Oh. Not quite the
Bridget
right one.
back there.
Uh-huh.
I've got to check and make sure that one's right. That's an old one. Like I said, I haven't had time to check everything. Wilmington, he was telling you about Wilmington.
Uh-huh.
That's from 1970.
That's pretty.
So
That's so pretty.
it's Ocean Mist from 1969. To find these in the 60s is very rare.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for somebody to keep one that long.
Heart pumping, that's a big flower.
Yes.
Big full form there in the back.
That's the one. That's the year Royce's dad had open heart surgery.
Oh, that's a good name for it.
His doctors really liked that name. But it was already named at that time.
Oh, really?
But that was the year, yeah.
Wow. Heart pumping.
Yeah, his heart doctors really liked that name on that Daylily.
Always spring. That's pretty too.
Yeah. That was one of my first ones. And this one here was my first one.
Sweet beginning.
Sweet beginning.
That's a good name for a start.
Well, it has a fragrance.
Mm-hmm.
So sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And it was my beginning.
Yep. Perfect.
So that,
That is a massive club.
the one right behind it
Mm-hmm.
is Neldine. That's named after my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And Winton is named after my dad.
Oh, nice.
So, and they just started blooming.
And then these are the awards.
These are the awards.
Sunglasses needed. I remember seeing that one in the garden. Actually, in the same Louisville Botanical Garden.
Uh-huh.
It was across the courtyard from Land of Cotton. And that, yeah.
It gets
It
your
was,
attention.
yeah, it was
It gets
so
your attention.
bright.
Yeah.
There's bubbly down here with the Don Fisher Memorial Award. Let's see, Jan's Twister is a Leadington All-American.
And a Lambert Webster.
Oh, and a Lambert Webster. That's the unusual form, right?
Yeah. Yep. Peggy Jeffcoat and Jan's Twister won the two. Won Ida Munson and the All-American.
And here's Sebastian the Crab,
Yeah.
which is an Ida Munson winner.
And I don't have these in here in the order that they were put in. I just put them in.
Sunglasses needed in the back. There's an Ida Munson winner. What's this? I can't read the tag because
Sorry,
of the petal.
Frilly Boss.
Frilly Bliss is a Lambert Webster.
It's being bashful. It's covered up its name.
You're right. Oh, that's so pretty.
Like I said, Firefly Frenzy's it's got more scapes coming.
Mm-hmm. It's working through it. Ready for rebloom. Francis Joyner here is the President's Award. Is that the Presidential Cup? Is that what that is?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Back then they called it an award.
Okay. Yeah, in 1989.
Yeah.
Ida Munson as well.
Right. And he was talking about Savannah Moon back there winning the President's Cup,
Oh, yeah.
which is back then it was the President's Award.
Kenny Hatton said, I love the spacing between the beautiful clumps. It does help to tell them apart.
Yeah. Claude Carpenter was out here the other day, and he liked the spacing because he was able to get a full clump picture.
Yeah.
And he said, which when I was planting this, I was trying to give them room to grow, but
Mm-hmm. It works for many reasons, doesn't it?
yeah.
Orange Velvet, a Leadington All-American. Vanilla Fluff here. We saw another place in the garden. Ida Munson. Someone asked, how big are the Joyner Gardens? How many acres? And I'd say, how many acres of daylilies? Let's narrow it down.
Probably at this point in time, I would say probably an acre.
1 acre of daylilies at this point, yeah.
Maybe.
But what was it when you had all the seedling fields at the old place?
Well, I've always, for tax purposes, we always said 2 acres
Okay.
under cultivation.
Sure, sure.
And that's roughly what I used up here when we were all the way down to the woods. Now we're shorted out a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
So roughly 2 acres.
Scatterbrain is not open today, but that's Ida Munson in 2010 there in the back. We've got Peach Magnolia, another Ida Munson. And the last one of the awards bed here is Moses Fire, another Ida Munson.
That's the end of the main ones.
Well, why don't we go take a look at some seedlings. Some of the seedlings that are exciting to you.
Okay.
And this is a camellia, is that right?
Huh?
Is this a camellia?
No.
A Rose of Sharon, okay. But that's a double Rose of Sharon.
Yeah.
Very
There's
cool.
a white one on the other side of it.
Very cool.
Oops, my lady broke her leg again. Yeah, all the rain just kind of swelling the broken part up.
Put it on ice.
Yeah.
Takes the swelling down. Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna let you take him around a minute.
Now, we're not going to talk about crosses in here. We're just
Mhm.
going to look at some various. You want to go down this side and then we can come back up this side.
Okay.
Or
Yeah, that'll be
go down
fine.
this side and come back out, whichever way you'd like.
Well, we're facing this way. Let's go down this side.
As a general rule, when you look and see a yellow stake, that's generally my cross.
Okay.
And a green stake is generally Jan's crosses.
Okay. All right.
And you'll see by the flowers, most of the time it's unusual forms, doubles as green stakes. And mine tend to be large flowers. Occasionally I'll get a double.
Sure.
you
Sure.
know, but for the most part,
You're looking for the larger ones.
yeah, and not necessarily large. I enjoy, a delicate, light ozone. And,
And this is a pretty small flower too. Down in there.
yeah, we got some of those. She's got a whole line. I'm not sure if they're blooming now, but she's got a whole line of little small miniature doubles down there. It's just great.
I'm excited to see those for sure. We were talking earlier. The miniatures seem to be a topic of conversation in my world. Everyone I talked to was looking for miniatures and doubles and unusual form and all the things.
I'm
haven't always
sort of
seen
behind the time in the fact that I'm just a sucker for a large pink with
Yeah.
a green throat. I love that color. That's just me. I understand that's sort of not real popular right now, but I love them that way.
It's in my mind. It's an old reliable. It's a standard. It never looks bad.
Pleasant.
Yep.
Just cool looking. I mean, as far as temperature wise,
Mm-hmm.
few eyes going, not many eyes. Got some of the old Munson watermarks.
Mm-hmm.
Not too pronounced in that one, but a little more in that one. Back over there. Got a lot of these lines like from Color Me Red and Scarlet Secrets. A lot of these little small flower reds that are really bright. I'm hanging on to those.
Yeah, super saturated in their color. They're really holding that.
And some ones that they're just variants. That one's a little different than this one. This one has a little more green, yellow throat,
Mm-hmm.
and a little better branching. But
You got some big ruffly ones too.
most of my whites and stuff came from a seedling that I told you I wasn't going to talk about crosses, but Stamilli's Arctic lace, Arctic
Okay.
lace, and
Mhm.
so most of my light colored, white colored ones are from Arctic lace and a seedling that my daddy had back in. I started back in '06 is when I really started hybridizing.
Cool. Very cool.
I'm skipping some of Jan's unusual forms over there, some of the things that she's. And a lot of these, our seedlings actually start, for whatever the reason, they start earlier in the year. So you'll see some of them are almost bloomed out and starting repeat scapes.
Mm-hmm. That works.
You see, I told you, every once in a while I have a double, I don't have too many doubles. Here's one here that's just coming on out of Heaven Blessed. And got pretty good branching, so I hung on to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty. Pretty too.
Then I have a couple of bigger, larger doubles.
Mm-hmm. Those really remind me of a starfish.
Yeah.
They really have that star shape.
Then I've got here and in the next bed a few, and that's, you can see the, I don't know if you can see it, but that's really good substance on that. The rain hasn't even affected it.
It's like the petals themselves were their wellies. They're durable in the water.
Another good little eye I'm going to hang on to. It's sending up a lot of repeatscapes already, and these have been blooming for several weeks already.
That's pretty too. That's striking.
And this is another one of my doubles out of Heaven Blessed. I had about 3 of those that I kept. There was that one, and then this more rose-colored one.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one up here, I think, I hung on to it, even though it's not a full double every time. But then you see that big old flop-eared thing over there, you know whose that is. That's definitely not a Royce joiner, that's a Jan joiner over there.
The big open UF.
Yeah, that's her.
That one is a big one too.
And then she's got some more flat, wide things over here. I guess you can get a good look at that.
Mm-hmm.
The green throat, the ants are sticking.
Yeah.
That's a striking lily that she's gonna. We haven't totally ruled out making some new introductions. We as you see, we still got some stocks, and we got some seeds in the refrigerator that we pollinated about a year ago that we may.
You're not ruling it out, but it's also not the biggest priority, huh?
Yeah, we got another one here that people been commenting about. That's good striking. Foliage is excellent, and like you say, it's that lighter yellowish green foliage,
Mm-hmm.
and it's got that striking light yellow throat against the magenta.
Yeah, that's showy. That is very showy.
Good performance habit. I got a few reds in here. Believe it or not, this is one of my son's last surviving crosses that he had, which is a nice red tet double.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't quite decided on whether to. Doesn't have a lot of branching, so we're just maybe keeping it just for the sake that it was our son's.
Yeah, right,
But
right. Chris Peterson from New York commented, "Love the reds."
yeah, well,
There's quite a few reds we just walked by too.
when we get to the other end, he's gonna really like the reds.
Hear that, Chris? Stay tuned.
Yeah, don't. Now these here are some varieties that we have gotten from other folks that are not ours. These 2 rows right here,
Uh-huh.
and they were going to be part of the convention, whatever bargain plants or something.
Oh, yeah.
So we didn't. That
They're just being grown out.
that didn't materialize because of COVID-19.
That's okay.
Now these 2 rows over here are Jans. That she's got that unusual form double there. It's like endless supply of what she's got of unusual form doubles. It's just amazing to me.
Mm-hmm. So pretty. So pretty.
Then we can swap over here. I enjoyed this. It's about bloomed out. It bloomed early, but it's really flat.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got a lot of, not deep veining, but
It's a showy face.
and it's very, the substance is very good. Of course, here's another one of Jan's UF double.
Mm-hmm.
Got another striking one there that's similar to the one that we were just looking at. She got several good flowers in here that she's, I'm sorry I walk in front of you.
No, you're fine.
You'll find my weakness for some more pinks in here. sorry for people that don't like pinks.
They never go out of style.
But this little line here is what I was talking about. I don't know if you can catch those, but see that little small double there.
Oh yeah, down in the
And then
back.
you got another little double there. That one's bloomed out, but it's sending up repeat scapes. Not so much that one, but you got another little double there, and another one, another one. It goes right through there. There's about a row of about 20 plants there. There's little small doubles that are just really nice.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Somebody,
really blooming earlier a lot.
somebody in New Hampshire, Fiona, is asking, what do you use for mulch?
Southern pine bark.
Southern pine bark. You hear that,
Yeah.
Fiona?
And it's graded in different levels of. Some people call it fines, and some people call it regular granulated quarter size, and then you can get the larger. We try to go quarter size for the walkways and the fines for the beds, because it mixes in with the soil easier.
Mm-hmm. Breaks down a little faster.
And we have another guy that has a special mix. He calls it a Daylily mix. He mixes peat moss and cottonseed litter from a local mill and something else, some chicken,
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
and mixes it in with a bark. Puts it out in a field, lets it sit in the hot sun until it reaches a certain temperature, and then he gets it up and sells it as a soil supplement.
And nitrogen rich, that sounds like.
Yes, sir. And that I call cooking it in the field. That gets rid of a lot of weed seeds.
Sure. That works.
I marked that for Jan. That's a bright UF double over there. That green yellow. That's just a standout far as looking at it in the field.
Susan, we are at the Joiner's Garden in Pembroke, Georgia. Do you have a deer problem? You have lots of trees. Someone's asking, do you have deer, and how do you keep them out?
Can you catch that fence over there?
Yeah, there is a deer fence. Oh, I can see it right there on the camera. See that, Deborah? There's definitely a deer fence around the perimeter.
We put it up last September. We had not had a serious problem out here until last spring.
Oh no.
Last spring, we hardly could not keep a flower blooming. It was amazing. It's like they just moved in on us. Before that, they just nibbled a little bit in the wintertime when things were hard and they didn't have anything else to eat, because we got a lot of farm fields around here. But last year, they just seemed like they moved in on us, and so we had to do something. So last September, by December 1, we had that 8-foot fence up. And Jan and myself put it up, and a couple old retired men from our church helped me one day. So, but we had one of our other local members gave us some tips on how they had done theirs, and it works really great.
8 foot tall.
I had a 5-foot chain link in the front already that I put up when we first moved here.
Mm-hmm.
So I probably got about, if they're wondering how much you can do 5 acres for, about $3,600 with me doing the labor.
Yeah, with not having to pay for the labor, $3,600. It doesn't seem too bad at all.
No, it's for the peace of mind of not having them rascals in there. That's a big yellow there that I don't know if you got it, but that's Jan's.
Mm-hmm.
I told her I was keeping that whether she was or not.
Right. It doesn't have the double, and it's not quite UF, so it definitely doesn't seem like what she's been doing, but that's pretty.
There's another one of her. Now see, that's one of her doubles. That's not. And then this one. This has been sort of, people commenting on this one quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's got potential. The frog likes it.
Oh, there's a frog. We are live with a frog. Am I getting him? What if I tip down just a little bit? There's the frog.
There he is.
He's enjoying a little bath in a daylily.
This is Jan. She likes this. She calls it a hot pink. This is one of mine. She was hunting for it this year. And even if for color, the branching's not too good on it, but it repeats pretty good. It'll be sending up these scapes in a little while. Another one of Jan's UFs. more of my pink, more cherry red, more gins.
Yeah, UF doubles.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's like it's endless.
Someone asked if you've had troubles with spring sickness, and it sounds like maybe you did a little bit this year with the late frost, but any spring sickness here?
About 3 weeks ago, we had one morning, it was like, and I know this isn't cold for up north, but down here it was 42 degrees one morning. And that's pretty cool for, Daddy always said lilies don't like it if it's below 60
Sure.
at night.
Mm-hmm.
Said 62 and above, you're okay, but said it starts affecting the blooms before then.
So do you encounter spring sickness normally? Or not so much, just because
Not
of
so
your
much.
location and climate?
Yeah, not so much. We had to change. We had to learn when we were at our other garden in Whitfield Avenue, we were right on the intercoastal waterway, so it was very temperate, whether it be winter or summer.
Uh-huh.
Here, this is 40 miles west, inland. So we've dealt with about a 10-degree temperature change in both ways. It's hotter in the summer with that less ocean breeze,
Right.
and it's a little bit colder in the winter. So we've had some adjusting to do. What we did to adjust, I don't know. But just we had to get used to it.
Just a little adaptation.
Another one of my little cherry reds.
Mm-hmm. That looks super pretty with the water droplets on it. That red really looks pretty with that water.
This is one of Jan's new little small yellows miniatures that she was telling you was over here. And we got another little one here. The foliage looks like it's a little yellow, but she's been messing around in here a little bit too with some herbicide sprays, so to keep the weeds at bay. So
That could be a little bit.
that might be a little bit of that yellowing there. This is another one of her little miniatures that she's been messing with.
Another question, do you ever get rust here?
Do we ever get rust? Yes, we do.
They fight with rust.
Yes, it seems like most of the people in this area will tell you, since we've had this cool, wet spring, we've had more issue with rust this year than, say, last year. We had like record-breaking heat and dry, and we didn't have much rust at all.
Sure.
And we could stay like 2 weeks and spray. Here we've been spraying every week this year, and we still see it popping up in places. So yes, we do struggle with it like everybody else.
Actively fighting rust here. That's pretty there in the back. The yellow versus the deep red.
Yeah. Light eyes, but the branching. I don't know if
Oh
you
yeah.
see the branching.
Well spaced branching too.
Yeah, and also foliage. Look at the foliage. No issues there. No rust there. This has been really, it's not a well branched lily, but it's just striking color.
Yeah.
A lot of people have made comment and huge blooms in the early. They've gotten a little smaller, but the very first blooms, man, they were big.
It's bright. Very bright color.
Then I kept these two little eye zones I had right there. That's a pretty one there. Not as good as some people, so I understand.
Oh, they're definitely enjoyable.
This one's my tree lily.
Oh my goodness.
And it's got,
Is that one scape? Oh, there's two scapes. Okay.
but that's one right there.
That's still an impressive scape.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You could count it as 9-way branching.
That's crazy.
Surely 6 to 7-way, even if you were conservative. So, and this is probably a sister seedling that I didn't introduce to Ain't No Slouch up there. It's got branching like that and blooms. It just keeps blooming and blooming and blooming.
Yeah, that's got a lot of good spacing on it for more blooms for sure. That's going to be a good garden plant.
Another one of Jan's UFs over there in that, I call mauve color. And nice. You got this one here. It's striking. It's almost bloomed out. Saved one bloom for you there. Green yellow throat.
One survivor.
Okay, here's you got it likes reds. This is my contribution to reds. I'm gonna save that bad boy there. I love that thing.
That's what, about 6.5 inches across?
Yeah. I haven't measured it yet, but foliage good, stands up erect, blooms just above the foliage,
Mm-hmm.
and
That's pretty.
stands up to the heat well too.
Oh, good.
Claude Carpenter like this lilac double here. I call it lilac now. I say double, and these two blooms aren't blooming, but this
Right.
thing's been blooming. This thing's been blooming like crazy, and
Yeah, that is pretty.
he liked the color of it so much
Mhm.
different, and they've really been full all spring. But this is my red section mainly right in here. There's another. You get a good shot of that one right there. That's another nice red.
Yep. Turn around a little bit. My camera doesn't want to turn for me, but there you go. There's the red. That's pretty.
I've got so many different variations of colors of red. You know, you got the burgundy reds. That one needed a little help, which are almost a red velvet type.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got the more, some of these have got Space Coast Francis Busby in the background. You can sort of see it. This one here is another upright. It's an orangey type red. It's
Mm-hmm.
not as clear as the other one.
Wow.
Really, to get over, you have to get on that side to see those over there. Another couple of pinks here that I like. They're not really anything we can see, but you can see the bud count.
Yeah.
And,
That's a lot of buds.
and
Tomorrow.
yeah, as they always say on show day, man, if it was yesterday or the.
That's
Oh,
exactly
yeah.
right.
This is a big pretty pink that's having a hard time with this cool, damp.
Oh yeah, that is really pretty.
It's probably a sister seedling of my pinky tuscadera, but
Mm-hmm.
another red. And this big guy here.
That's a bright orange.
And I like this one for the green throat and the form.
Mm-hmm. We have another question from someone asking, when you put your seeds in the fridge, what medium do you store them in?
Normally we just put them in store them in a paper cup with holes punched in the bottom when we have them during the year. And I don't know what Jan's kept them in for this past year.
We'll have to ask Jan.
Just leave them open. We don't do anything special to them.
Okay. Just store them. Keep them organized.
Keeping them dry is the main thing. Don't let moisture get in there with them, or mold will form sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Another bright red there.
I haven't marked this one yet. I keep looking at it. I'm saying, you know, that goes back to the old months and watermark.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably gonna save that one, but that one there, probably gonna save it because of the green throat.
Yeah, that's pretty.
And that's a big velvety red there. Most of these reds that I've shown you hold up well in the sun, the heat. When I say that, they don't bleach out and look burnt. Is
Sure.
What I mean. Pretty good red there. The reason why these beds lean this way, the sun stays blocked from that line of trees, and then for most of the day, the sun's, you know, on this side. There's
That makes sense.
a big ruffled eye with edging of it. that rough one just goes right on down into the brakes. So I'm gonna save that. This is one of Jan's big.
Big double. I missed a question here, but someone asked, how do you guys water?
I have an automatic valve that turns on a line of 6 Excel wobbler, spinning Excel wobbler sprinkler heads at night. We water about 2 hours each night.
Wow.
The first line for the first 2 beds comes on, runs from 7 to 9. The second line comes on from 9 to 11.
Mm-hmm.
The third line for these 2 beds comes on from 11 to 1. The hydrangeas comes on over there at 3 to 6 in the morning.
Okay.
So that's the normal thing. But since we've had about, anywhere from probably close to 20 inches of rain since January,
That's a lot of rain.
we could show them the frog pond down there, and the woods is flooded. But it's anyway.
So this year you haven't had to water nearly as much,
No,
huh?
no, we had them, and we've had to turn them off because the walkways were getting squishy for people to walk on.
Opposite problem.
But yeah, and it's really nice to have that automatic solo rain signature automatic valve. It's battery operated, and it runs system. You don't have to have power for it. I got them over there, and it's really neat. I can pull the top on one over there, I guess, would be better than over here. But I got one over here that we could see if you wanted to show the folks. But
All right.
these are just all no cherry red there. Don't want much to say. These are big wide boys that are having trouble opening in this cold, cooler, wet. And that's one of Jan's there. I really like that one.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't tagged it yet or posted it, but we'll probably wind up saving that green thing.
Mm-hmm. Just has a little bit of blush on it.
That's got a lot of, you want to say, blue in it.
Yeah.
That's one of Jan's. My son had a real purple, bluish seedling. And she used to use that in her hybridizing. That was one of the seedlings she got out of it. This one.
Yeah, you definitely see the blue tone.
And then that one also. Those out of Jan's breeding. This is one of our regular US.
Mm-hmm. Here's some of those small doubles we're looking at from the other side.
Yeah, you can see them better from over here. The little flat one that she really raves about is bloomed out. It's sending up repeat skates, but it's not blooming right now.
Oh, there's another frog.
Yeah, you can get a frog there.
Another froggy.
This is that yellow that I marked for. I'd probably walk over here and we'll take a picture of that, show them that little automatic valve that they're available on the internet. Some supply company, I'm sure they can pick them up. But
Sure.
the rest of what we have, I don't know if you can catch the water down there
We spun
from
around.
that distance, but that whole woods down there, there's about 1.5 acres of water down in those woods down there, which is normally dry in dry times, that is full.
You can see all the water down there.
So we've had a really, really wet season.
We are live from the Joiner's Garden in Pembroke, Georgia.
This is the little automatic valve. This valve right here is probably about 90 bucks or about 100 bucks, 99 something. But there you can get a close up and see the time and the name on it and everything. You can set programs. You can, as you can see right now, it's set to off, but you can turn it to run. You can set your start times, your cutoff times, and it takes one little, like a AA battery, but it takes a lithium AA battery. It's a little higher dollar battery than a normal AA battery.
Sure. That lasts a little bit longer. Works a little bit harder.
But I found the valves last, I've got some that's been here 9 years now. I think one got maybe affected by a lightning strike nearby somehow. It ran, but it sort of shorted it out. But these wobbler Excel heads right here, you can take a picture of those. Those look down. I'm gonna give the folks a demonstration. You can stand back over here and see the pattern. I'll turn it on by manual. You can see the pattern of what it does.
Kind of mists over the top. Huh. That's neat.
I think Scott Elliott has put in those same type heads, I believe. Don't hold me to that.
Sure.
But you'll see tomorrow, I'm sure. I think he has power available at his place, so he's probably used possibly a different valve than I have, but I think he's adopted those same style heads. I think he liked those heads.
Mm-hmm.
The beauty of those heads is you can has a little orifice. I don't know if you can get that color of that little orifice in there. There's a little orifice right in here that you can change out.
Okay.
And change your volumes.
Okay.
You can put more volume in there or less volume in there.
Sure.
To increase your water rate or the reason why. And these white heads, you can buy two different styles. There's one with a black head and there's one with a white head. The white head throws the pattern at a more flatter trajectory from the nozzle, where the black one arches it over.
Okay.
So
yeah, just different patterns.
The black, I found out that I was watering my roadways more so than I needed. So I decided to try these lower trajectory heads, and so it would fall down to my bed quicker instead of going out and watering my roadways.
Sure, or evaporating on the way.
I still catch the edge of the roadway, but not near like I did those black ones. So
sounds pretty ideal then.
But that's pretty much our garden.
All right. Somebody asked about your soil. It looks sandy.
It is. It's coastal Georgia, sandy, loamy soil. But up here we found out we've got just a little bit of what they might refer to as a little bit of sticky tacky to it. It's a little gumbo, but it's not.
Right.
It's not very bad. But you can tell it's a little bit different than the Savannah soil right on the coast. So, but like we did in Savannah, we've done our best to put in humus. My dad was a big proponent of humus, pine bark, chicken litter. Mainly cow compost is what we used in Savannah.
Yeah. Okay.
Chicken litter is a little on the nasty side to be nice.
Yeah.
Cow compost, we lucked up one time and found a dairy that fed their cows nothing but sorghum.
Oh, okay.
And therefore you didn't get clovers, weeds and seeds and all of that. And he fed them at a trough, and they dropped there on a concrete pad, and he took his tractor and pushed it down to a pile. It was just a beautiful setup.
Right.
And we could go up there and load up, and we haul, and that's what we did at the Savannah location for years. But he finally went out of business when the dairies, Did you here? I've mainly used pine bark and that mix from Newington, Georgia. That Daylily mix I referred to.
Did you have to add any lime? Is the question here.
Not much lime here at this location. Jan had our soil tested, and we did add a little bit to a couple of beds, but not much.
That's awesome that you didn't have to. You know,
No.
things worked out okay. No
We
added
have had a
expense.
few issues with some nematodes. I used to hear that as a kid. Ed Paul used to fuss about nematodes all the time at his property in Savannah, and I never fought it, but we had some last year that got struck by nematodes. It's very similar. It looks like you think, well, my plant's right.
Sure.
It turns yellow, but you go on and you pull the top of the green top up, and it just pulls right out of the ground. But you can see where the roots have been just like perforated. And I ordered some Nimitz, which is ecologically friendly stuff that you can put out on them. The only problem is it doesn't prevent them. It's more of a contact, you know, put it around the plant right when they're there, and
Sure.
it gets them, but then that's it. You know, it doesn't stay there. And
So they could come back.
but the name of it is Nimitz.
All right.
So
We are just about out of battery on both the wand and the phone here. Is there anything else you'd like to say or share before we go?
just appreciate the opportunity to share our garden with everyone.
Well, Royce, thank you very much, and we'll say thank you to Jan again. She's over hosting some other garden visitors. If you see her over there in the red shirt, and the rain has kind of let up a little bit, so we're going to enjoy a little bit of time here in the garden, taking some photos and such. And we'll be live again tomorrow from Scott Elliott's garden. Thanks everybody for watching. Have a great Tuesday.